We do bands, we do DJs, we do national acts, we do speed painters, character artists. We do the craziest things. If you think it, we've got it. And if we don't have it, we'll find it. We will not disappoint. That is our promise and commitment to everyone. And have a Breezin' day. Hi, this is Cindy Jervich, owner and CEO of Breezin' Entertainment and Productions. Thanks for joining us today on Breezin' Chats. Along with me today, I have my executive team, Jesse and Michael.
Hey guys, how are ya?
Hey. On today's episode, we are proud to have joining us a group of 3 remarkable individuals who are on a mission to make life more musical. In 2011, this group founded an organization that provides beginner and intermediate lessons in guitar, ukulele, piano, and arts. Their mission serves to create lasting positive changes in the lives of youth in at-risk communities for kids from 2nd grade all the way to 12th grade. Their classes range from 8 to 10 week increments, which coincide with school semesters and quarters. At the end of the 8 to 10 weeks, the kids who have completed a fully cycle of music lessons are awarded their own instruments to take home. They believe creative hobbies and outlets are key for personal growth and development of health coping strategies. Most of the students are in schools with no music programs or in schools where the music programs have been severely cut. We are proud to welcome to Breezin' Chats 2019 Charity of the Year and our new friends, John, Bree, and David.
Wow.
Founders of Instruments for Life.
It's a great organization, guys. If you guys haven't
Thank you.
heard much about it yet, you guys are going to learn a bunch in this podcast here. Like Cindy said, these are 3 remarkable individuals that have really come up with this mission to make life more musically. And so I'll let kind of Jesse take it from here with some questions. And
Perfect. Well, welcome and thank you again. And we are so proud and honored to know you all. And as we get to know you even better and as human beings, we are so impressed with what you all are doing and wanting to give back. So,
yeah, we've actually had the pleasure of getting to know you guys a little bit, but for our listeners, I kind of want to just do a little brief introduction of the 3 of you. So if you want to start, David.
Sure, I'll start. Well, first of all, thank you guys. You found us, and we're just honored to be a part of what you guys are doing. You've been giving back for years, and it's just awesome. Like, we have been helped so much by you guys, and excited to see how the rest of this year goes. So yes, I'm David Diaz. I'm one of the founders of Instruments for Life. Grew up in Tampa, and we've just been enjoying the kind of the process and the journey of seeing this come together after years and years of hard work, and seeing the kids grow with it and have an opportunity to learn music, something that we all have a big passion for.
So I'm Bree, and I got to know John and David years back before Instruments for Life ever was a thing yet. And once it started becoming, getting together, right before we had our status as a official nonprofit organization, I came in kind of helping with the fundraising side of it. And I just have a huge passion for giving and for working with children, for working with community development. And so I was gone for a while, teaching abroad, working with the Peace Corps as well. And as soon as I got back, I had newly developed skills as a grant writer and an event planner as well that I brought back to the table for Instruments for Life. And I've just really been enjoying working with the organization, just as I always have, and especially with some of my best friends, and making life musical is honestly the best thing I can think to do with my time.
that's beautiful.
John?
Awesome. Well, my name is John Solaire, and I am also was born in Tampa and raised here, and been playing music around the town for many years now. I don't want to age myself, but now I'm lucky enough to teach a lot of the kids. And what started off as a little idea at band practice around 8 years ago has blossomed into an awesome organization, if I can say for myself. And our organization has become quite the family, where it's grown from just a couple people in a little band into multiple 10 plus people in organizations such as, Breeze Entertainment, which along the way helps us grow and make live musical, like Cindy said.
Beautiful.
Awesome. Well, you kind of just briefly touched on it. Can you give our us just kind of like a Cliff Notes version of how the whole organization got started? What kind of, like, in the garage with the band, that kind of thing?
Right. We were sitting around one day asking ourselves, how can we help the kids? And little did we know, it's become a lot of hard work and dedication, and we're proud of it.
Yeah, I think we just wanted to do something that gives back. I think everybody talks about, making the world a better place, I think, I think we all get caught up in the day-to-day life, and sometimes that gets pushed aside, but just because of the group we have, I think everybody just kind of picks each other up in this group, and I think that's our competitive advantage against a lot of things. So when we said, yeah, I think that would be a great idea. I mean, these kids deserve an opportunity to learn music, learn art, like we have had the opportunity when we were younger, and we just rolled with it, and just momentum continued building on momentum, and we were able to do that along with the band. There was a couple of guys, Todd Nanny and Dane Gilbert, who were the founders as well, and with everybody's kind of unique talents and skill set, we were able to just slowly but surely start giving back.
That's the most beautiful thing about it. We're not necessarily trying to create musicians every day. We're trying to teach these kids that, hey, music can be your saving grace, whether or not you decide to become a professional musician. And then showing them that, hey, that's also an option. You can be a professional musician. You have that talent.
Mm-hmm.
You have that power within you. So, I mean, I'm just super grateful to piggyback on the talents of my
You
my
bring that
friends.
other dimension, too. You started adding the arts to it.
Yeah, right. So I might not be a musician, but I do like to make art, and so it's fun bringing that to the table now. That's kind of a recent addition within the past year. Myself and some other very talented artists in the community that give back every week to bring art into the lives of kids.
Not only that, but definitely the women's perspective. And we have strong women such as Bree and Faith Reynolds and Melissa Rodriguez and Lakima Matthews and Christina Unstead, and the list goes on and on, where it was just a couple guys and it grew up where we really needed the women's touch to help us, grow and continue with that way. And they also
Yeah, I can't disagree.
they also with Bree and Faith especially have experience with teaching, so they've helped us. Like, we might know how to play the guitar or do a little bit of this and that, but how to talk to kids and how to understand.
Build a curriculum for them,
Yes.
basically. And why don't you touch on that, how it's structured and how it's structured for the different age groups, and how how you guys find the different programs to implement Instruments for Life.
So I'll start with who we partner with, and then I'll let John take over when it comes to, and David take over when it comes to curriculum, since that's something they've developed. But as far as partnering with organizations, that's how we get to our kids. So we don't have a building ourselves, which is actually great, because we don't really need to worry about paying rent or the electricity.
That
and things.
overhead, yeah.
Yeah,
Especially for a
exactly.
nonprofit.
Yeah, welcome to my world.
Exactly. And as well as the fact that we just have these amazing organizations that already exist within our community, such as Redefining Refuge, Parks and Recreation, Dream Center of Ybor. We're also currently working with an organization called Tribe in Seminole Heights, Joshua House that works with children in foster care. So all of these organizations are well established, amazing things that they do with a commitment to ensuring the success of all children. So we don't want to rebuild the wheel per se. What we want to do is build off of those things that our partners are already doing an amazing job at. And so by partnering with these organizations, we have access to teaching children that are interested in learning music. And we also have the access to their facilities, storage units for all the instruments, as well as, they bring their own volunteers to the table. It's a beautiful thing to be able to partner with so many organizations.
And how do you get those partnerships going?
We're actually in the process of that right now, and it starts with a phone call usually, or an email. And
It was slower in the beginning. So in the beginning when we first started, we thought that, hey, we're looking to do something good. Who wouldn't want people to just volunteer and go give these kids lessons? And we found out that it was a little bit harder than we would have expected.
you have a clearance to go through, of course. kids
So-
that you don't think about.
Yeah, you don't think about it, and rightfully so. You know, you don't think about it, but there are obviously, you know, reasons why you should be vetted and whatnot. So all for that. But our first opportunity was actually in a foster group home, and this is back, you know, where we started 2011, 2012, and we had been trying to get into different homes, whatever, and foster group homes happen to be, you know, some of the ones that were receptive to it. And so we got into this one, and they told us, you know, hey, we probably would last like a week. It was like an at-risk home. It was, you know, the kids had probably done something that why they were there, maybe separated from, you know, other opportunities. And they basically, the instructors basically said, you guys can come, but you're not going to last, you know. And so we just went. We didn't know what to expect or what to do, but we brought a bunch of instruments and we set them all out. We tried to get the kids' attention, and little by little, you know, they after looking at us funny for a little bit, they you know, a couple of them started playing, and it just ended up being week after week we could show up and just build a little more rapport with these kids. And actually, with these particular kids, it ended up happening because we ended up playing a little basketball, playing a little music, playing a little sports, playing a little music, and slowly but surely we were able to gain their trust, and that's how it started. Now, still to this day, I mean, some of my favorite kids we've ever worked with, and that lasted for about a year and a half. Every week, every Saturday we would go, and it was awesome. Those kids have now, I mean, this is 8 years ago, they're now in their 20s. You know, some of them are doing awesome things, so that they've reached back out to us. One in particular was an awesome kid. He's starting his own nonprofit down in the Orlando area. It's amazing. You know, just real good things can happen if you just, you know, we didn't go in with any expectations per se, but we also knew that we can relate to kids. I mean, we're not like, we might be older now, but we're not stuffy, I don't think.
And I think the thing too is in regards to making those partnerships is, once, you know, it's difficult enough to establish a rapport with children or with teens, right? But then also, once we've gotten this momentum and we've been doing it for a long time, our partners also see that we're very committed and passionate about what
And
we
you're still
do.
around and
And we're
coming back.
And we're still around.
So the other organizations can vet for us now.
Exactly.
So now that we've been there,
You
it's
get
a little
like
bit
a
easier.
recommendation.
Exactly. So now when Redefining Refuge says, hey, these guys are awesome, then that carries a lot of weight. You know, we've worked with the Children's Cancer Center, like, I mean, all these places that Bree just mentioned. So it's a little bit easier now. So like I said, we'll probably start with the Boys and Girls Club here soon. A couple other organizations that we have for down the line to work with, and just, you know, in and around Tampa, there's a lot of kids that need help
All over.
or deserve the help, really, you know.
And our main thing is making it ensuring the success of all children, right? So I was born into a privileged situation where I had a parent fully dedicated to doing everything for me, including extracurricular activities. Whereas it's just not necessarily feasible for all parents. I had a woman come up to me the other night and say, thank you so much. I've been wanting him to take guitar classes for years and I just can't afford it. And this is the first time I've been able to afford it for my son. I mean, and her son's incredible to work with. It's nothing. It's nothing for us.
These are good kids. These are not, you know.
Yeah, I mean, all kids at the end of the day bring a smile to your face, whether they're being sassy or encouraging or whatever it is. Like, you kind of love it. And then, as far as the curriculum goes, John's worked really hard at developing a curriculum where our children are playing music on their first lesson, and he can talk more to that.
Yeah, to piggyback on what Bree was saying too, giving access to kids that have never touched a musical instrument and not knowing that they're actually born with this talent, you know, is actually one of my favorite parts. And then to see them on the first lesson be able to play 1 to 2, maybe even 3 songs, and then they're already having fun and they feel like they're a rock star. And then they take that confidence outside of that classroom and give it to other kids, and then all of a sudden all the kids want to form a band or want to form, you know, a big group so they can play in front of everybody and show their coaches and their teachers. And not only that, they become mentors for the other students. So it's very youth empowerment where they can see, like, oh man, if little Billy can do it, I want to do it, and then everybody wants to do it.
Yeah.
So that's honestly like the coolest part. The curriculum is very more so fun based and not theory. And so we find songs that they really like, some that we've never even heard of, like Old Town Road, but then all of a sudden I figured out that was the biggest song in the world.
Right. Me too.
Wow.
I think I heard it for the first time at the showcase.
And so they teach me as well. And I think, I'm very grateful for that too.
And I think
Oh.
it's also like in regards to them teaching us new music, which is important because you always want to stay in touch with what's coming out now, and getting them to learn things that I'm shocked they've never heard of. But then, like yesterday or the other day, we were teaching, and a girl's like, "Can we do?" It's a Nina Simone song that we had taught them, and I thought that was really touching because the first day it's like, "Well, you don't know who Nina Simone is," and then they're all of a sudden requesting to play,
And learning the history of like the artists like Nina Simone being an activist for, not only against racism or also for women, because back then and very much in the civil rights, but they're getting to learn all kinds of things about history of music and their songs.
Which is something we try to. You can't be playing music for an hour straight. So in those times that we're talking, we try to bring it back to those important discussions of who was this musician that was absolutely incredible, whose song we love to play. What did they care about? What did they fight for?
Or what is that song about that they're
And what is
playing?
that song about? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was important to us to create a curriculum that, the way me and John learned instruments was not this rigid music theory that sometimes you hear about kids going to a piano lesson and, sit up straight and do that. Those are all important things, and I think that they're valuable in time. But when you're dealing with a kid that may or may not know he has an interest or feel like something else, schoolwork is so tough already, is this another form of schoolwork and homework that he's going to have to do? No, let's just hold this guitar here and let's play a song that all of a sudden you recognize you can do it. Wow, that was easy. That's not, and then we can get into the theory later. We can get into all the other aspects later. And actually we do adhere to National Core Art Standards, which is something that we felt was important. There is a curriculum that is not an exact curriculum, but a guideline that's accepted nationwide. And so all of our guidebook and everything that we created does go on to that. There's performing, there's creating, there's connecting. All of those things are part of the National Core Art Standards, which it is important, but it's not the initially important thing. This first thing is, let's make sure that we can show you that you can do it.
And let's,
especially for these kids that are coming from an environment that they've never been told that they can do anything. Yeah. It's always, you can't do that. You're not smart enough. You're not good enough. You're not this or that. And we can show them, and we've seen this. This is, some powerful stuff that we've been able to see. Like very, very. Okay, so some of the kids we worked with have, not all of them. Some of them are awesome kids that they're just maybe from economic means aren't as good, and some kids have actually gone through some pretty intense trauma. Where music is more of a therapeutic outlet and something that's very, very important now. So I'm talking about some kids that have been like trafficked and things like that. So we've worked with some organizations that have helped that, such as Redefining Refuge, that does an amazing job with rehabilitating these kids. So music is just one element of it, but when we go in there initially and we've dealt with these girls who've been through some of the most horrific things you can imagine, their first response to anything is, no, I can't do that. I can't do that. And we've been taught how to, respond to certain kids in certain situations. So okay, that's okay for today. We'll come back next week and we'll try it. Or here, how about you just hold the guitar? You don't have to do anything. Just hold it. And it's still I can't. And then all of a sudden, a couple weeks in, they try and they're like, oh, let me try that again. And then it's like, give me a second. And then it's like, oh, I can do that. And so it's gone, all of a sudden their brain has been rewired from I can't do something to now I can do it. Give me a second. And I think that is the most powerful thing that we can do. It's not, like Bree said, about making them into a musician, making them into, Jimi Hendrix. It's about showing them that they can do something that they're literally, their whole lives have been wired to tell them that they can't.
We're shifting the perspective there, which
mindset.
We all have to do that to ourselves. It's not just teenagers that are going through that. And I can speak to the curriculum. I never played guitar before. I tried several times. But John started teaching me, and it's really cool. And he told me, he's like, see that look, that smile on your face right now? You'll see the kids do the same thing when they play that riff. Because I was like, hey man, I'm doing it.
Doing
and
it.
I
It's like riding a bike.
I don't really have much of a music. I took piano lessons for years, and at the same time as my brother. My brother was like,
Beethoven.
I was like, oh my gosh, I'm never gonna compare. Meanwhile, I'm over here like, she's like, you gotta stick with hot cross buns.
Yeah, we don't have hot crust buns as one of the
Exactly. We
Chopsticks.
even the songs that we learn that are older are still they're still powerful and fun for the kids once they hear them.
Sure.
So tell us a little bit about like the classes you currently have. Like, what are the age groups? How many classes are you currently teaching? How many times a week do they take classes?
So right now we're teaching Monday through Thursday, and we reach about 75 kids per week. And we have 2 locations with Parks and Rec, and that's at Jackson Heights and Copeland Park. And we teach guitar and ukulele at Jackson Heights, and it averages about 8 to 10 students per class in all of the classes, because that we feel works best. We can always add another class where there'll be another 10, but with 1 to 2 instructors per 10 students, we feel works the best. We also are at Dream Center in Ybor, and that's really awesome. The kids there, they're very enthusiastic about music as well. And once again, we have about 8 to 10. We do ukulele, guitar there, and art also, so we reach about 30 students there. And we're also at Tribe in Seminole Heights newly on Mondays. We are there as well.
Also doing art, also doing ukulele and guitar, and yeah, right now it's the summer, so it's a little bit different. But the normal school semesters, those numbers can increase a little bit as well from what we see, and yeah, I mean it's gone from a couple of lessons a week to now they're depending on what semester we're in or what quarter we're in for school. I mean it's 8, 9, 10, 11 lessons a week, and nearly 100 kids a week.
A lot of kids.
And it's a testament really to John here as to how much that has grown, because when we were, when I was trying to do every lesson myself, we weren't able to do that, and John has really taken the reins. He's, probably the most selfless guy that you'll meet, and really has a passion for music, and that you can see that when he's teaching the kids, and it's been really awesome that John has taken that over here in the last couple of years, and it's really allowed us to go from where we were to now continuing to grow and looking to add more places.
It's amazing, and that you all are volunteers, and it's not your full-time jobs. And
How many volunteers do you guys have right now?
It depends on what you're talking about. If you're talking about music teachers versus we have a larger group of people that come out for all of our events as well.
That teach the kids.
Yeah, so we have 7 instructors at the moment that teach the kids, and what's unique, I think, about our charity, our nonprofit in general, is that we have no salaries. We have no incomes attached to anything, overhead costs. I mean, I'm one of the founders. There's no compensation, zero for me whether I give a lesson or not. I mean, any executive director salary or anything, which is kind of, in a way, what we wanted to do when we started this. We didn't want to make it a financially driven charity like so many others are. Not saying that that's a bad thing, because it's definitely not, and it's definitely deserved. But it can also get out of hand, and you want to know where your money's going and making sure it's going to the right thing. So all of our donations that come in and anything that comes in is basically going directly to the lessons. That means for
program support.
for the program support for the instruments, and for the instructors. Just recently we've started giving them a per class amount.
so you say for the instruments for the kids. Tell us how they can earn an instrument.
Yeah, this is actually one of John's pets here. I'm sorry, it's my water bottle.
So the way that the students can earn the instruments is we do a beginner series, and that can last from 7 to 9 weeks during their school period. And if they come back and would like to help out and mentor the new kids, that's how they earn their instrument. Whether it's the ukulele, keyboard, or guitar. So it really develops the teamwork aspect, and handing down what they have learned onto the newcomer beginners. And it's awesome to see like how they work together. Usually, you know, it's a little bit of an older kid teaching a little bit of a younger kid, and they really get to learn. Now I get to step back and watch it, which is it's just brilliant to watch. They're just doing what I was doing, and now they're probably even saying it in a better way that another student can understand.
Yeah, well, it teaches them a little bit of leadership. It gives them, it empowers them to, you know, make the decision to come back and help in order to earn that. Back in the day, we used to just give them out once they completed our lesson. We thought, hey, that was enough, you know, and we still feel sometimes like we do that. But at the same time, we want to make sure that they are going to earn those instruments and feel good about it, and when we know they're going to be put into good use. So it's just great to have them come back. They also get a little more, you know, interaction one-on-one to you know, advance their skills a little bit. But just to see them interact with the kids some more, I mean, that reinforces their learning right there, and it's just a youth empowerment tactic.
Yeah, and they develop valuable assets like, you know, dedication and resiliency, you know, when they can't do it, and then they learn how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So all those little things that no one really thinks about, but they're actually more than earning just the guitar. They're actually earning knowledge of teamwork and dedication and respect
And
for, you know, the teachers and the other students.
And that leadership skill, which is super empowering. I mean, even as an individual, I don't consider myself the greatest leader, but in those times where I've been given that expectation, you kind of rise to it. And so not everybody is going to be a leader, but everybody has that skill within them, and then you can use that to your advantage in anything in life. So you'll see some students where it's like they're naturally good at it, usually they're older siblings, and then you see others that are kind of learning how do I guide this peer of mine while they're learning the instruments. But they all rise. You know, they all come up to it. It's nothing.
Ever since we started that, I feel really, really good about it. It's gone off really well. You know, we definitely, like I said, I mean, we wanted to just give them instruments right away, but this has worked even better. And
They are.
How many people do you see like coming back to that second semester or second?
yeah, a lot of them. So, you know, with kids, it's a little bit difficult because they might have football practice all of a sudden at the same time or whatever. But we get a pretty good amount of them. I'd say probably 50-60%.
Yeah, I
They
would
come
definitely
back.
say 50 to 60%. And even if they can't come back, let's say the next semester, I've seen it even a year apart.
Yeah.
Where all of a sudden, Mr. John, I'm back.
Nice.
I'm like, oh, awesome.
That's great.
So, you know, so there is a little bit of part in us where it's like, where that earning part, where if they can't make it that time, but we always know there's a chance that they can come back.
You see what
Yeah.
they put into it,
Right.
where they've come from,
Right.
to make that decision.
Mm-hmm.
Or the responsibility that they continue to practice on their own time,
Right.
which I'm sure is part of the curriculum, is the
Right.
practice that they have to take home.
Right. I mean, and obviously, like, it's funny to see the kids just like they come back because we've said, hey, you can earn this. Then it's like, oh, I have something I can get.
Mhm.
It's like we had a song. I don't know if you
Oh, yeah.
wrote that. I mean, it's kind of silly. One of the girls was saying, though, how am I going to practice my guitar at home when I don't got a guitar at home? And he's like, you can earn one, though, but you got to keep coming back. She's like, oh, okay.
She came back, I'm sure, and she got a guitar.
Exactly.
And what are the average ages of the students you guys teach?
Well, we do teach 7 to 17-year-olds, and predominantly, depending on what class it is, for ukulele, it's usually around 7 to 10,
Mhm.
and then for guitar, it's, you know, around a little bit of the older kids, 11 to 14 to 15, and of course, we'll take pretty much anybody in art. It actually can range even
Little
more
bit younger
vast,
than that.
right?
But yeah, predominantly we do work with those grades, 2 to 12, which is 7 to 17, 18 years old, and then with the majority of our students just falling in that middle range from.
Yeah, every group we work with is just a little bit different as far as how do they want multiple lessons per week? Do they want it weekly? Is it this age group, that age group? But
Can they come as often as they want?
yeah, I mean we've done lessons in the past. For instance, there was a group we worked with, a Prodigy down in the university area and also Town and Country area, that they wanted back to back. They wanted basically consecutive lessons, and I it just depends on what their bylaws and what their organization calls for. But yeah, we've done probably everything you can imagine, from 1 lesson a week, 2 lessons a week, 3 lessons a week to the same kids, or once per week and have that go for a 10-week period or whatnot. So some places we're in there for year and a half, 2 years. Some places we're in there for just 1 quarter, and it just depends on what that program is looking for at that particular time.
So to be an instructor to these children, what is the requirement? What are our expectations of them are?
We want to be able to connect with kids. It's not just the technical knowledge of playing the instrument or doing the art, because that's secondary in nature. We're trying to give these kids an outlet and to realize that they can be more and learn something. In today's world, they have access to everything on their phone, which could be a good thing or it could be a bad thing. And so teaching them how to use an outlet positively, and we say you can do it when you're young, when you're old, when you're together, when you're alone, and when you're happy, when you're sad. And I think that's one of the most important things that music can be to people, especially that sad aspect, because you can put a lot of hurt into just strumming a couple notes on the guitar or on an instrument. So for instructors, what we're looking for is just people, one, that we can trust. So nobody gets paid right away as instructors, and we don't. We're not looking for that. That's not the goal. Everybody that's ever been part of our organization has volunteered extensively before even any kind of consideration. And quite frankly, no one has even wanted money. No one's ever requested money. We as an organization just felt, now that we are doing this, at some points in the normal semesters when it's not summertime, we're talking about 12 lessons a week. You deserve some type of fair compensation, which I'm not even sure we're there yet with fair compensation, but you deserve something for the work that you're putting into. So consistency matters. We can't have a person that shows up for 3 weeks of a 10-week lesson, and all of a sudden these kids who have probably been through a lot feel abandoned again. So consistency is key. Being able to connect with the kids is key, and just be in a fun, rewarding, positive environment and outlook is basically what it's all about. They need to show that we have confidence in them, and so they can grow confidence in themselves.
I think also one of the requirements is being willing to learn how to connect with the kids. Like David was saying, that's our main thing, getting to know them, and like 2 of our instructors, Faith and Bree, I think we mostly ask more questions of them of, okay, in this scenario, how do we connect with them if are they feeling this way? We don't usually ask each other, well, how do I play the G chord?
Yeah.
So it's more like, she might be doing that. But I definitely probably every single lesson ask Faith or Bree, well, if I'm presented with this situation, how can I make it better for the kids?
And these are things that we all figure out. And I've taught for years now. There's always going to be something that just throws you a little bit. None of us are perfect teachers walking into the situation. My mother who taught for years and years still, every week would have a situation. She's like, I never thought I would have that happen. Yeah. So what it is just that resiliency and that willingness to learn. And sometimes you have a kid crying in class and you're like, I don't know why. How do you deal with it, right? And I think that's something I can say 100% our volunteers and our teachers are so good at just reading the moment, coming back to it, we regroup, discuss it amongst ourselves, and what is the best way to approach this.
Well, that's again coming back to the group of people that are involved in this. Bree, who has spent years in Peace Corps, also in addition to Peace Corps, teaching English as a foreign language in other countries, and gaining skills that are coming to the forefront now by having all of that experience in her 20s. And also Faith Reynolds is an amazing asset to the group. She's been around with it for a couple of years now. And I don't even know what degree she's getting, something with a lot of letters. A master's.
Very accomplished.
Yeah, a PhD in what?
Working on our PhD.
Social work?
In like child psychology or social work or something along those lines, which is, she is super knowledgeable on that and is just an absolute resource for that kind of stuff. You can't find that stuff, on a day-to-day basis, but yet somehow we have a group that has all these things kind of at our disposal, which helps us, again, grow and make everything better for the kids.
And I think it's something that's really incredible. And even Christina, who doesn't have any background with teaching or anything. Christina Unstad is one of
But
our
she's got heart.
she's our ukulele teacher, and she is just so great with children. And never had a experience teaching before this, and still the kids just absolutely love her. And that's the most important thing, truly, is to be able to connect on that level where kids are like, you know, where's Miss Christina today? You know, oh, she's in the other room today. It's like, and she, you know, that she's always going to be there. If she's out of town for something, kids are like, oh, you got to learn ukulele with somebody else.
Yeah, she's awesome, vibrant personality. I mean, Memi as well. I mean,
Right.
just people that really have a passion for kids and giving back.
You know,
Lakima,
you just
Susie,
really-
I don't want to forget anybody.
Yeah,
exactly.
Susie,
I
of
mean,
course.
Todd has taught a bunch of lessons as well. He's been a substitute teacher in different schools. He's basically been every profession. Now as a doctor, just doing his, you know, like gone from every profession imaginable, but has an amazing skill set and ability to connect with kids. So
Yeah, I don't think you guys might not even realize the impact you're making on these young lives until just one day you'll really see it. Like you say, when you see this young man in Orlando
yeah,
now
that's
starting his
awesome.
own charity. And just, you know, sometimes, you know, you get to the point, that's why we started adopting charities, and this is perfect alignment for us, because we really wanted to do something that aligned with entertainment and helping people. It's just amazing what kindness does, and a lot of people don't get kindness and compassion and can teach ambition, and when they see that you all have nothing in the game except to really give to them your heart and soul, they feel loved. And they may not get that at home. They may not, or the parents are doing just the best they can to stay above water or in these areas. So it's just really beautiful. I'm really curious to know, tell us a little bit how you are acquiring your donations, how you are getting these instruments donated, because from what you told me, they're like brand new instruments, which is just blows our mind.
Yeah, so we've luckily, Breezin, you guys have been, at the forefront of helping us definitely over these last few months for sure. And it's changed. It's morphed just like our organization has changed. At the beginning, we really were not actively looking for donations, or we didn't know how to do that, and we still probably don't really know how to do that.
About that. We thought we were coming in to help out, and we're like, you left last week from our board meeting last month, and I'm like, holy macaronis,
Well,
we are just busy.
We are busy, and I think that is exactly what we wanted to do. We wanted to, I think, not to compare us to other charities, but other charities are going to fund the mission. Once they're funded the mission, then they're going to perform the mission. We didn't want to do that. We just wanted to do it and see what we can do, and we'll do it the other way and
Figure it out
as we go. So
Sounds
we're
like somebody I know.
we're obviously jam packed with lessons every week, and I feel really good about that. Now, so recently over the last couple of years, we've also added to that these fundraising events that have been fun. Our John and I are still in a band, Ashley Smith and the Random Occurrence, and we've played a handful of these charity benefit concerts. There's also been other organizations that have stepped up and done little happy hours here or different events that are really awesome events that we just have a great time doing. We have an annual golf tournament that we do every year, and that basically keeps us afloat. Recently, we've shifted that focus and trying to become more of an active. Breeze helped us out with grant writing opportunities and things like that to try to sustain us for not just this year, which we're probably in the red from, but to try to make that so we can continue to reach out to Boys and Girls Club. We can go to these other organizations, and let's not stop at 75, 85 kids like we have every week. Let's see how many we can reach and go from there.
And I just want to call out and say a big thank you to the Junior League of Tampa. We are one of the recipients of their enabling fund this year. And so being able to buy things, like an electric guitar for these new showcases that we've been doing, which was really fun. We have also just gotten more and more successful and skilled at throwing the events that we've been doing. Like our
Amazing.
first benefit concert was like a couple hundred. That was a lot of work. I mean, we sat around a lot of nights planning
Yeah.
on one, but I think that
was 8 years ago, you know?
That was 8 years
And I think we
ago.
decided never to do it again. But then we got better at it.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, even still, I think I love those moments. I love those Monday meetings, and
I personally don't want to leave out, now that we have grown with other organizations such as Tampa Parks and Rec and Dream Center at Vibor.
And Redefine
they-
the Refuge
and Redefine
has
the
been a
Refuge,
huge help.
They've actually partnered and found grants for us to provide guitars and ukuleles and keyboards through Paragon Music and Guitar Center. So actually, it's not just us going out and get them now. Now the places that we actually are partnered with are finding instruments for
Yeah,
the kids as well.
it's a community effort. I mean, it's Tampa Bay. I mean, this is our backyard. I mean,
Yeah.
we are all from here, born and raised, and I don't see us going anywhere. Maybe Bree, but other than that, I don't see us going anywhere anytime soon. It's just, you know, people have asked, well, you want to like expand this to, you know, Atlanta and other cities? And like, no, I want to do it in Tampa. You know, there's enough kids in Tampa that need that help, and I think if you spread yourself too thin, whatever the mission that you tried to create can
just
get a little
changes the
thinned out as
dynamic.
well.
yeah, you lose sight. of
So
that.
no, Tampa's a backyard. I mean, we've done stuff in Clearwater. I mean, that's Tampa. You know. I mean,
Tampa Bay.
Yeah, Tampa Bay. Yeah,
area.
Yeah. So how many students do you feel you'll have coming in the fall?
We're really trying to have a steady 100 for the next for this next semester that's coming up in the fall, and we're doing that through reaching out to new partners and still seeing where that goes. It's not a definite thing yet, but definitely we have another partnership interview on Friday, so we'll see how that
we're
goes.
confident that we're going to be able to grow to at least 25 to 40 more kids starting in the fall.
That's awesome.
And how do you need more instructors then?
Yeah.
Well, just like everything else, when you put, I think me and David know this best. So when we have band practice once a week, but all of a sudden, if we don't have a show, we don't really have band practice. So then, as soon as we say we have this gig and it's lined up and it's a big gig, then all of a sudden everything starts working. The band comes together and we figure out a way to make it happen. So much like that, as soon as we know that we can lock in to reach 25 to 40 more kids, I know with our personal reach of friends and musicians, we know a lot of musicians in the community, and I know that we'll be able to fill those shoes to continue with more kids and students.
And it's not an easy role to fill because of that. It is a commitment. You do have to have a semester. There's a lot of people that want to come in 2 weeks or want to come in.
Teach one class.
I will
Teach
say
one
this too.
class.
A lot of musicians reach out to us wanting to be a part of it, and you know, there's been times where we only had 3 kids a week, where we couldn't. You know, it was just me or just David or just Bree or just one person, and then it steadily grows when it became 30 people and then 40 people and 50 people, and that's how we've continually grown to 7-8 instructors. And I'm sure that with the amount of musicians and artists that reach out to us and friends, that we have a place for them now. You know, so finally we can provide it for them. You know.
Well, tell us a little bit about some of the events that you have coming up. You kind of brushed on showcases, but explain what these showcases are, what it means to the organization.
Do you want to take that?
We have a lot of events coming up.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
which is a good
Focus
thing.
on the
but-
showcase
yeah.
because we mentioned it, and I want the listeners to understand what
Absolutely.
that means
Maybe
for the
they
kids.
can
'cause
come.
that's- Yeah,
If
I mean,
it's a
it's,
Yeah.
Sure thing.
that's
we
such a big
invite
deal
them.
for the kids. I
So
know
we actually
that.
have 2 huge showcases. One with Tampa Parks and Rec, which is July 30th. It's a Tuesday, and it begins at 7 p.m. and it is at Barksdale Community Center. And if you would like to look that up, I can give you the address. It's 1801 North Lincoln Avenue, Tampa, Florida 33606. And with this class, we actually have around 30 of our students, and it's going to be 2 classes from Jackson Heights. It'll be the guitar class and the ukulele class, and we'll also have the guitar class from Copeland Park. Joining us will be the hip hop dance crew from Rolette Park and the violinist group from Cyrus Green. So we're all going to come together, and we have a little surprise encore song for everybody where we're going to have 50 kids on the stage performing a really, really cool song. Yeah.
Awesome.
So it'd be awesome to come out and support these kids.
And what time does that start?
That'll start at 7 p.m.
And
And then also on August 2nd, Friday at 6 p.m. we'll be at the Dream Center in Ybor, and we'll be performing with those amazing kids, showing off the art as well. That'll actually be our first art showcase. So we'll have our guitar.
And it's going to be
playing.
Dream Center's first showcase
Yes,
that
it's
they've
actually
done
their
as well.
very first showcase as well. So
So
they've
it's
got a lot of
basically like a
exciting
mini
stuff, too.
concert for.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what the kids have done, I mean, they've worked really hard over this time. I mean, it's not easy to learn an instrument. I mean, I don't know if, you know, I mean,
Never
yeah,
learned Never learned one.
and so these kids have now gone
Play the
through.
tambourine.
Yeah, I'm a triangle
Well, we
player.
might get you up there. Don't say that too loud.
Well, give me a mic. I'm good.
So these kids have worked really hard, and you know, it's a little nerve-wracking even for, I mean, me and John have been playing music in shows for years. To go up on stage in front of, you know, okay, you do it in your little room with just the 8 of you all learning together, the 10 of you all learning together. But now there's going to be, you know, potentially hundreds of people there, and you're going to play the song. So it will be a growth experience. We definitely expect the kids they're going to have nerves. I mean, I would have nerves today.
You're gonna have nerves.
Yeah, I'm going to have nerves then too.
I'll be the most.
Yeah.
We tell the
But-
kids like on the first day too. It's like you're gonna perform on a showcase on stage, and they're like, "No, I'm not."
Yeah.
And then you see them slowly change to where now they're coming up with their band name. We got the Dream Makers at the Dream Center, and
Right. The Rockin' Robins.
Yeah, and some of their personalities can shine through. You know, some of them take a little solo part here, a little solo part there, and it's just cool. I mean, obviously, again, they're not Jimi Hendrix, but it's an opportunity that they may not otherwise ever have to go on stage and play something, do something in front of their peers, in front of potentially their parents or other people. The mayor may be there.
Maybe. We hope so, because this is going to go out. Hopefully, this podcast will be aired next
Yeah,
week
it'll come out
sometime.
probably next Wednesday.
But
And then we'll be promoting the event along with that.
Yeah, my team was so impressed with the showcase we went to over at
Copeland Park.
Copeland Park, and it was pretty hard to believe that those students had only done 8 hours of lessons, pretty much, right? And we were like, wow.
And they played, what, 5 songs?
They played 5 songs. They earned the 5th song.
That they did.
And I was just as impressed because of the audience that came and the parents that came out to support, and the aunts and the uncles and the families and the neighbors. It was really beautiful. And I think that was one of your Parks and Recs groups, and shout out to them. Beautiful facilities that these children are getting to play in.
Absolutely.
And I think that it's just, we were like, wow, you know, we were very, very impressed with the teachers. All your teachers were there.
Yeah.
Most of your instructors were there, at least for that group,
Right.
and participated in it. And it was, so I do hope our audience, if you're listening before July 30th or August 2nd, that you come out. This July 30th one is a really big deal for them.
It's gonna be absolutely incredible. So I mean, I can say that I cried the first showcase I went to. It's not really hard to make me cry,
There were a lot of
but
tears
there
out
was
there.
a lot of people crying. So I was not the only one. I only expect this next one that we do to be even more incredible. What with the hip hop dance crew and the violinists coming out, it's gonna be something to see. So you know, whether or not you have kids or like love seeing kids perform, I can promise you this will be something fun to
And
go
by
to.
crying, we mean tears of joy.
Joy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be, you know, tears if I was singing. So, you know.
This is going to be your biggest showcase that you guys have done.
It will be our biggest showcase, yeah, because we're going to go, you know, getting all the different classes from City of Tampa all at
So
once,
cool.
as opposed to just an individual class. But, you know, in addition to that, we have, you know, the fun ones too. I mean, if you want to hear a couple older guys play, we have our charity benefit concert at the end of August 27th at Skippers.
Oh wait, we didn't know that was a confirmed thing.
Confirmed, August
Here
27th.
first.
So, yeah, breaking news.
I did
You heard it
actually
here
saw it on your website this morning.
So it'll be a couple really good bands. Ashley Smith and Random Occurrence, which is John and I's band. The Flow Sisters, who are really awesome, and a band called Folly Dean, which actually was what John was referencing to before. The band that kind of sparked this idea was our old band. We since then Ashley Niven, singer, has moved to Denver. She's selling out Red Rocks and doing big things with bands down there. Our awesome guitarist that lives up in Georgia. and we're just coming
Sean
back.
Snyder.
Sean Snyder, and we're coming back doing a little reunion show, I guess, if you will.
The return of Volley Dean.
And,
Call to come back.
Well,
yo.
there's another event to put on our calendar.
It'll be fun. What else do we have, John? We have a few other things. We have the golf tournament, which is
Yeah, it's a
November
big one.
24th.
For all the golfers out there listening.
Yeah, that's always a good time. We got refreshment tents on the course with some goodies.
Where do you golf at?
We're gonna do it at West Chase this
Okay.
year, so we change it up.
We're selling sponsorships and we're asking for sponsorships. And,
Sure. I mean, sponsorships can be really for any of
of
the
the
above. But yeah, golf is usually a heavy hitter for sponsors and people to come out and have a good time. I mean, I think last year we had I want to say 21 teams, and I think this year we'll have probably more than that.
do we have any sponsors for the golf tournament yet?
Still working on those. There's definitely some community sponsors that are usually in the mix, like a Power Design. I feel pretty confident in, and some others. But that's probably the thing that we lack on in promoting that or getting the word out for sponsorships. But something that with Cindy's help, we are going to attack.
We're going to start here because at the end of the podcast, when you see all their social media outlets, we will have a donation button and informational button to please reach out to us because this is a great cause and your dollars will be very be appreciated
Yeah,
more than
the
you-
kids will greatly appreciate it.
The
Yeah.
kids will greatly be appreciated. Every dollar goes back to the kids, which is one of the reasons why we jumped in on this. So please consider that. I'd like to give a little shout out because we've been working a little bit for our July 30th event. We've got desserts by Krispy Kreme and nothing but bun cakes so far. And do we have any other sponsors assisting that you know of right now?
I know. I failed to mention the World of Beer will be a sponsor at the golf tournament, and they're also they're doing their annual Wobtoberfest, the World of Beer West Chase, and we are the beneficiary or the charity selected for that. So that's October 4th and 5th in West Chase. So that'll be fun. They'll be at the golf course as
As
well.
well as 81 Bay.
81 Base holding a market.
On the
Yep.
27th of this
Market.
month.
So much going on. Yeah.
Yeah, and sorry.
No, I was just going to go ahead and give the link. We have so many information and events that we're getting
I
to.
know, but you know what? We will have them all listed for us and
Awesome.
for the listeners underneath it, and there'll be hot links. They'll be able to click on it, and everybody can share it, and you guys can share it with all your friends because I was so impressed at that one benefit that we went to that you did, and over 200 people I think came out and at the World of Beer at
Yep.
West Chase.
Yeah, we usually have a pretty good turnout. Feel good about that.
So
Yeah, those are amazing friends that have supported us for so long, and they help spread the word, as well as Ashley Smith, who, she gets paid big bucks to sing at a lot of places, and she brings a really great crowd, and
She
was
donates her
amazing.
time.
She always
She donates her
volunteers and
time.
sings, and not only for Instruments for Life, but for multiple organizations. For all through the years that I've known Ashley Smith, this
Isn't that a
is
beautiful thing?
Well, she's also come and helped us with some of the lessons as well,
wow,
and
what a
has
treat that
connected with the
is.
kids in a really nice way as well.
she's
So
another huge asset to our team. So
Yeah, we might have to get vocal lessons in there soon.
trying to
Yeah.
Faith and Christina and Ashley.
a lot of our teachers are amazing vocalists. Not myself.
My husband would tell you the water would stop in the shower. That's his famous last line.
Yeah, but they have everything on their website, guys. It's instruments, the number 4life.com. They have their calendar, how to donate, how to volunteer, kind of everything on there. So definitely take a look at that. If there's any musicians or anyone out there that can't donate money or anything like that, feel free to email us, reach out to us, social media, anything. If you have any instruments, anything like that you'd like to donate, just to help out.
We're going to start. That's going to be our one of our missions is to do instrument drive every year. So you'll be hearing more about that as well. And everybody has a little something. And when they say instruments, they even shared with us anything that can create music is from a shaker to what are the little
Yeah,
eggs?
John, what do you give us some of those?
So egg
little
shakers, tambourines,
blocks?
blocks, bongas,
Hands.
pots and pans. You would be surprised. Because some of our teaching tools are percussive instruments to learn rhythm. So
That's what I
usually
need to
even
learn.
like the first couple lessons, we're doing a lot with percussion instruments, so they can learn the rhythm.
These
And
cups.
We'll combine some dancing with it, and
Make it fun.
yeah.
Just
I
make
mean,
it
we
fun.
even use plastic cups to teach
Right.
some beats.
Which is a
So,
fun time.
yeah.
The thing is that look, my hands can't even handle playing guitar for an hour on end because they're not used to it, and so you can only imagine a 8-year-old's hands struggling to
That's
hold the
right.
strings down. So that's where those percussion instruments come in really handy, and those breaks from playing the guitar, we can still continue with our learning and learning rhythm and stuff.
Beautiful. Well, we are super excited to have had you. I hope that our listeners really have learned a lot and why we chose you guys this year, which is our honor and pleasure. And we hope that we can support you for on and just be a part of all your greatness.
We definitely
So,
appreciate it.
yeah,
You
we
guys have
appreciate
been,
everything.
already in the short. How long have we known you? A couple months.
Yeah.
2 days.
Yeah.
Couple more months.
It has been a true help for us. So we appreciate it.
Yeah. So as we always say,
Have a breezing day.